All. Not all. See, I've cleaned off most of the wall. Got sheet plasterboard down. We've got lath and plaster as the original wall. So the laths are the wooden bits and run horizontally, and then they plastered on top of it with horsehair in it. So this is lime plaster, and the thing about lime plaster is it wicks away moisture really quickly. So if we plaster up to this edge, the water will just get drawn out and you'll end up with cracks, and we won't be able to fade it in properly. So what we need to do is we need to seal this edge with some PVA glue. So, PVA glue. So we're just going to, it's stuck. Anything. Okay. PVA, come on. Oh wow, this could take a while. So we've got our PVA in there. I'll just go and mix it in with some water. Make sure it's good mixed. We've got our water and PVA mixed in. And just slop it on to that plaster edge, that lime plaster edge. Seal the surface a little bit. And hopefully our plaster won't crack. And on the top as well, that whole exposed area of plaster. Just get right in everywhere you can. Lovely. Right, so anywhere where plaster is going to be lime plaster, paste it up. So there's also a crack coming up from the corner of the door. Kind of normal in older houses, so I'm going to try and repair that. I'll need some PVA in there as well, and any holes that I'm going to attempt to repair at the same time. I probably won't do that until the finishing layer, but best to paste it up now. So what we're going to do first is that you can see the plaster here is maybe 6 to 8 mil shy of the original wall. So I've done that on purpose, not at all by accident. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a really thick coat of plaster first down, maybe leave it 1 or 2 mil off the surface, and then we can put a finishing layer and make it good, basically. Okay, so here are my plastering things. We are going to need 1 bucket, 1 coat plaster, which is really thick stuff. We'll need a trowel for mixing. Hello cat. Oh, and another cat. The cats have come to help. Something I learned the hard way was you always add your dry to your wet. I think I'm going to mix up about 1/3 of a bucket this time. So I found that I need more than just 1 hand for mixing plaster. So I've got this. So hopefully I'll have both hands free as I can mix plaster and talk to you. So what I'm looking for now, but not in my workshop, is a drill. Set it to 1. Great. Okay, so there's our 1 coat plaster. It's a lovely day for mixing plaster because it's already wet. I hope this plaster hasn't gone off. Remember, add your dry to your wet rather than your wet to your dry. I'm getting bored. Oh God, I hope I've got enough plaster. This is going to be embarrassing if not. Dump a little more in. one of the reasons I hate plastering. It's a bloody mess. We're looking for the consistency of like double cream. Have I added too much water? There's no way to take water out, so if I've done this wrong, I'm in for a spectacular outtake. Oh, brilliant. Maybe I'll set this to a slower speed. So that's still far too watery. I think I may have done myself over here. What are the cats doing? Oh, okay. I should have enough. I don't think we're gonna have enough. That is getting good. When it creates like these chunks and it can't quite mix in, that's when we're on the verge of the consistency we need. Still a tiny bit watery, so let's just put it all in. Fortunately, that might just be enough. Leave that here to, I don't know, dry off or whatever. And let's get ourselves a clean bucket. There we go, that should be enough. I have mixed up enough for probably 2 or 3 walls here, so we'll see how this goes, and may have to see if there's other parts of the house that need plastering. Et voila. So, first off, trowel. Oh god, this might be too thin. I'm going to try and get a layer of this on the wall. Wow, that is thin. So I'm trying to make as little mess as possible, but in doing that, I'm actually making a lot of mess. Yeah, so this is quite runny. Could have done with not quite so much water to start with, but that's fine, we'll make it work. I've just got to put on a layer thick enough so that we have something to plaster against, but it's not really meant to be dripping this much. This is going to be decidedly difficult. So there's a reason people pay for plasterers and professional plasterers, because they make a bloody good job of it. And this is why people don't do it themselves. Also, I usually put down something to protect the floor. Try and make this edge as good as we can, given the circumstances, the very sloppy circumstances that we have. Half tempted to let this go off for a little bit before we try and do too much more. Just get as much on the wall as we can. Slightly more difficult because I've got to avoid dropping plaster on a cat. Normally I'd be doing this off a hawk, but this is far too runny for a hawk. I can't even use the bloody things, and you've got solid plaster. So I say get the consistency of double cream. If your double cream looks like this, throw it out. Oh, I'm not doing a very good job here. I want to avoid getting any more water in the plaster than is already there. Because I f***ed up. Thank God I don't give a crap about the carpet. Just trying to force it into all these gaps. I'm just going to let this plaster go off a little bit to make it a bit easier to work with. Because at the moment it's a bit of a but I've got some on the wall. A little bit more, if I'm honest. And I've got more plaster to do it with. What I haven't got is talent or skill or sense of balance or a huge bank account. Lamborghini. Fun, 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 fun. Obviously I'd like to get a thicker layer on, but I am going to wait until this has gone off a bit more. Just for the record, lime plaster is horrible to plaster over. So if you're ever planning on renovating a house with lime plaster, be prepared for a lot of frustration and a lot of time. Ultimately probably a lot of sanding and replastering. Because that's been my life for the last couple of months. So if you ever hear a plasterer saying that plastering's easy, plastering is bloody hard. I'm just trying to make the edge a little bit good, so there's less clean-up time later. Who am I kidding? There will be a lot of clean-up time later. So you can see this is still a long way off being even remotely packed out to where I'd like it to be. I'm hoping the more I work it, the more resistant it'll come and I can maybe get a bit of a thicker layer on. So wherever possible, it's a good idea to keep your trowel clean. That's why I've got the bucket of clean water. And this is because the plaster will eventually eat away at the trowel. So you can see this is quite an old trowel. You can see it's had a lot of use. This was my dad's. You can see the angle on this corner. It used to be the same over here, but you can see after years of plastering onto a wall, it's rounded off. When you first get your trowel, it might look something like this. You can see it's like stainless steel, I think this is. But gradually over time, it'll get smoother and smoother. It'll let up. You might have some hard edges on the side to start with. And you'll notice when you're troweling up the wall that it might catch and drag, but the more and more you use it, the nicer that edge will become and the smoother you can get your wall. So you can't really buy that. That is just something that you have to work into your trowel over many, many years, which is why I've started plastering walls now. I don't have someone living with me that can say, look at the bloody mess you made, because it is a lot of mess. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette. Not a massive fan of omelettes. So normally you'd have a piece of wood that you could throw away the old plaster on. I'm using the carpet. So looking at the consistency of the plaster, it's still quite liquidy. So I think I'll have to let it go for even longer until it thickens up a bit, starts to go off. Hopefully I can add a bit more to this wall. So sadly I'm getting some on the wall that I don't want to plaster, because I'm going to have to sand down this bloody wall. Whoa, the washing's done. Doing the washing's almost probably more exciting than watching plaster dries. We can fold clothes together. Oh, you see I'm not trying to make this too smooth, but I can make it a bit easier for myself in a minute when I put the finishing layer on. That will be lovely. But for now I just want to get it reasonably flat. Just a case of adding little by little. Is that a song? Google, play Little by Little.
Should I still play that on all speakers?
Yes, please. Google, stop. I always forget which Gallagher is in Oasis. Wouldn't catch no Gallagher plastering a wall. Just means he's a It's kind of like icing a cake, except it's a cake you're probably going to be looking at for the next... Well, I hope I won't have to replaster this wall, so the next forever. Oh, quite a bit to fill out. So I think this is where some professionals will make it level. I'm not going to be able to because I'm not good enough. But what I can do is get it nearly level and then sand it a lot. Wonder if there are any transferable skills between this and icing a cake. Hope not. All I feel like I'm doing is slowly transferring plaster from the bucket to the floor via the wall. Oh, there's the wall. Oh, there's the floor. Thank you for travelling with us. As I keep saying, this is why you pay professionals. Oh no. So that's another top tip. Don't ever drag down, or if you can avoid it sideways, always work up. So if anything falls off of the wall, it falls onto your trowel and you just keep pushing it back on. Oh, there's more on the floor. The drying time of plaster is affected by things like ambient temperature, humidity, and that sort of stuff. Google, what's the temperature today?
Today in Plymouth, expect a high of 14 and a low of 9.
I don't know how that affects it. It either makes it dry faster or slower. I can't really adjust the temperature anyway, so... So when you get happy with your plaster, or at least, 90% happy, don't try and do the last 10%. Just leave it. Just walk away. I've just got myself a piece of timber. It's flat on the machine face, so this is just a piece of CLS. And all I want to check is, at any point, am I proud? I've done quite a good job. This is still like melted ice cream at the moment. Whoop. Yep, so that's still very, very wet. Judging by here, I am not 2 mil off the wall. This may need a second coat of 1 coat plaster, and that's really because of me. So what I probably should have done is packed up the plasterboard so it's a little bit closer to the distance. Oh yes, this plaster is going to be difficult to work with. It's the bit where I tend to make even more mess. I don't want to come all the way out because I've still got a finishing layer to go on, which is nicer plaster, it's finer grit. That's how well it should have stayed up in the first place. Turns out, I've made nearly the exact right amount. Well, once you discount the stuff that's on the floor. Oh, there's always I've picked it up on the wrong side. There's always the difficulty of putting on backwards. As the hand goes. Oh no. So something you can't do is pull your trowel away from the wall because the plaster will just stick to the trowel. The surface tension will keep it there, and then you'll just pull a load of plaster off the wall. So always try and sweep it off. Still a little bit far off, but yeah, no. Of course, I didn't obey the golden rule. When you're 90% happy with it, don't try to get that last 10%. Oh, what have I done? Oh, there goes the 10%. So I'm back down to 85 now. So this is where crap on your trowel will really affect it, and you can't get a lovely smooth scrape. So keep your tools clean. Google, tell me an interesting fact.
According to Discover magazine, the average pencil holds enough graphite to draw a line 35 miles long.
That is fantastic. Get back to that 90%, where I'm happy. Don't try to do the other 10. If you don't know where 90% is, keep going, and if you f it up, that will be over. So in case you're wondering why I'm fiddling, even though I said don't fiddle with it, is I want to make sure that there's as little work to do as possible on my final coat. I also want to make sure that there's nothing proud of the wall, so that my finishing coat will be on top. So I just noticed something very fortunate. I went to clean up my my trowels and buckets and sponge and all that sort of stuff, and I went to open this door, and with handfuls of stuff I thought, oh no, the door's going to hit the wall. But I'm really grateful that I left so much crap on the floor, including my piece of wood, because it means the handle doesn't touch the wall. Thank Lord. So as I mentioned, it's important to clean your tools after you use them. This is because plaster is caustic and it will eat away at your lovely, lovely tools. You can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, we've got some scratches along the edge which go in, and that is where I've been using the edge of the trowel to scrape up the wall, and that's what's given me these lovely scratches that slowly make that smoother and smoother edge. It's still got a bit of a rough edge to it. This edge is smoother, and that's because I'm right-handed. You can see all this silt is left over. Make sure that's not in there, because old plaster can ruin a batch of new plaster. And in typical me style, I'm making a really big mess. It doesn't have to be this bad. It's about 3 hours later. Update is, you can see some of the plaster's going a bit lighter. That means it's drying. So some of this I can still feel is a tiny bit wet, tiny bit warm. But yeah, some of it's starting to dry out now. So give it another 2 or 3 hours and that should be lovely. It should be ready to plaster over. I don't think I'm going to get to it tonight, but that's a job for tomorrow. So it turns out it wasn't a job for tomorrow, it was a job for several weeks later, and several weeks after that, I'm here. So there's still a lot more to do on that wall, and I think we need another update video when I get to the next stage of it, but that's all for now. Thanks for watching.